what is STAND, and why would youth want to get involved, and why would anyone want to get involved with STAND, and what is some of the work they do?
STAND Canada is a national youth-driven advocacy organization. So what STAND does basically is a political is at a political level, but everything, kind of the foundation for STAND is the youth, is the students at the high school level and at the university campus level who drive the organization. But STAND exists as an advocacy organization trying to lobby the Canadian government to change its policies to effectively address the situation in Darfur. So STAND's vision statement is to mobilize a critical mass of Canadians, Canadian students, and policymakers to end the crisis in Darfur and respond to future threats of genocide. To me and to the organization, this means awareness, and it means for students, and it means empowerment. It means that students should be involved in this because they can actually make a difference to the way that Canada acts at an international level in regards to Darfur. The government currently and the previous Liberal government didn't do enough to respond to genocide. It didn't hold up R2P, or the responsibility to protect. It didn't hold up the Canadian tradition of peacekeeping, of internationalism. It didn't stand by our collective values around internationalism, and it has in many ways missed the boat or missed the opportunity to stand up and lead in this world around an issue of such great importance. They didn't learn the lessons from Rwanda about what would happen, and they provided a lot of lip service about what Canada would do in the future. They said, as a country, we learned from Dallaire, and yet we have Romeo Dallaire at our forefront every day, screaming and yelling about what we should do differently, and nobody listens. And STAND, as an organization, believes that the youth are the key to changing this in this country, that the youth are the ones who stand up on tables, who stand up at rallies, who stand up to their politicians and say this is a huge political issue, and your political future with an election coming up depends on how you will respond to Darfur.
On that note, what is enough for Canada to do as a country, and as a, what can our government do, and like where is the line? Where's enough effort made to help solve the situation, and what can we do to prevent this issue?
I don't want to run the risk of saying that it's an endless pit of action. I would say that there are specific wins that Canada could and should have. There are specific policy asks that we have with the government. If you call 1-800-GENOCIDE, it provides you talking points with those specific asks. You check out our website, standcanada.org, and there is a number of specific policy asks. They include support of the UNAMID mission. And it means real support, not throwing money because they were told that money is what they are responsible for at a mission that is, at this point, failing to live up to its mandate. On paper, the mandate exists for involvement, and Canada should lead on that there should be we should be providing personnel, and I know that's not politically, that Canada politically is hesitant with being involved in Afghanistan to send troops in, but that doesn't mean that we can't send people in to Sudan and into Darfur to support the UNAMID African Union mission. There should be people there working with hardware in terms of vehicles, and working, flying helicopters and being involved in brokering peace agreements and working at a political level. There should be lots of Canadians in Darfur doing stuff and supporting that UNAMID mission. We should be supplying far more equipment. Like I said to opening the conference, the pulling out or the rotating out of Canadian armored personnel carriers with no plan for more equipment to go in means that they are, and I recognize that having those personnel carriers in the dust in Darfur is hard on the equipment. We should have people there working to fix them. We should be rotating in new equipment to support that mission. We should be supporting divestment legislation in this country. We should be pushing any country, any company that is investing in China, that is investing in Darfur or Sudan in any way. We should be pushing for divestment of those organizations in those countries. The U.S. just had a huge win with what they call SADA, which is the I can't remember the acronym, to be honest, but it has to do with divestment and contract legislation in the U.S. that the federal government in the U.S. passed a law that now each state can pass laws to drive divestment and the removal of contracts. And basically, it's a threat that if your company is involved in Darfur or involved in China or involved in oil in any way that is detrimental or feeding the conflict, that those contracts can be null and void. You can lose those contracts, you can lose that money, and the threat of it has caused a number of businesses in the U.S. to pull out of their dealings with China and pull out of their dealings with Sudan because it hurts their bottom line. And those are the type of things that in Canada we should be pushing. We should have an envoy in the region.